Hello, it's time for math on this Tuesday, May 5th, 2020. Also, it's Cinco de Mayo, so make sure you had some Mexican foods, maybe some chips and salsa, and enjoy Cinco de Mayo. Ole! Let's get started with our warm-up. Freeze me now. Okay, let's get back started. Welcome back. Number 1 in our warm-up, 11 times 6 and 11 times 7. If you know your 11s, it's easy. You just double the numbers. So 11 times 6 is 66. 11 times 7 is 77. Fun, right? Number 2, 9,087 minus 3,647. 7 minus 7 is 0. 8 minus 4 is 4. 0 minus 6, can't do it, have to regroup. This becomes an 8, and now I have 10 minus 6, which is 4. Bring down my comma, 8 minus 3 is 5. Final answer, 5,440. Next one, 8,246 minus 6,048. 6 minus 8, can't do it, need to regroup. 3 and 16, 16 minus 8 is 8. 3 minus 4, can't do it, need to regroup. Now I have 13 minus 4, which is 9. 1 minus 0 is 1, and 8 minus 6 is 2. Bring down my comma. Final answer, 2,198. Number 3, write 4 ways to make 20 with multiplication. So I could do 4 times 5, and 5 times 4, but then what? Well, don't forget, 20 times 1, right? And 10 times 2. 4 ways. Number 4, circle the best estimate for the answer. Key word was estimate. Okay, so that means I need to round. 212 is closest to what 100? 200, right? And 486 is super close to 500. So now I have an estimate of 200 plus 500, which equals 700. Number 5, Kate has 9 bags of shells. Each bag has 9 shells. Okay, so 9 bags of 9 shells. Okay? So fastest way to do this would multiply. 9 times 9 equals 81 shells. That's a lot of shells. Okay. Now we are going to go ahead and open up our math workbook. While I'm erasing, you're going to turn to page 721. 721. And we're learning about borrowing today. Have you ever borrowed money before? That's what we're going to be talking about, borrowing money. When would you borrow money? Right, if you didn't have enough and you wanted to buy something, you could borrow money from someone. But what do you always have to remember about borrowing money? That's right, you need to pay it back. You're not taking money, it's called borrowing, which means they're going to give you the money now, but you have to pay it back later. So when you borrow, you have to pay it back. Let's look at 721, and it's just a quick review from yesterday. Jackson has $28 in the bank, and he makes a deposit of $3. So when I deposit, what happens? My amount gets bigger. So 28 plus 3 equals $31, okay? Deposit means to put it in the bank. Okay, next one. Lynn has $23 in the bank. She makes a withdrawal of $3. All right, so withdrawal means to take it out. So 23 minus 3 equals $20. Okay, it's much better to deposit money because your amount gets bigger. When you withdraw, it gets smaller, okay? Let's look at 722. Sometimes people borrow money when they need more money than they have. Brian has 45 cents. He wants to buy a pen that costs 85 cents. How much money does he need to borrow? So what do we know about Brian? We know that he doesn't have enough money to buy something, okay? So what is it that he wants to buy? Something for 85 cents, right? And he only has 45 cents. So we have to find out the difference between those two to figure out how much he needs to borrow. So 85 minus 45 is 40 cents, right? He needs to borrow 40 cents. Number 1, we're on share and show. Wendy has 75 cents and she wants to buy a snack for 90 cents. Wow, I wonder what she wants. How much money does she need to borrow? So we know that she needs 90 and she has 75. So once again, we need to find the difference to see how much she needs to borrow. So speaking of borrowing, we're going to borrow from the 9. That makes 10. Subtract 10 minus 5, we get 5. 8 minus 7. So she needs to borrow 15 cents. Now, once again, you can write that like this, or remember this way, 0.15. Those are both the same amount, 15 cents, just two different ways to write it. Okay, Carl has $4. He wants to buy a book that costs $6. I bet you could do that in your head. How much money does he need to borrow? That's right, $2. Very good. Okay, moving on. Number 5, Molly shares her snack with Ted. Is this an example of borrowing? If she shares a snack, is that borrowing? No, because Ted's not giving it back, right? Ted's going to eat it, it's gone forever. Okay, so that would not be borrowing. Number 4, describe an example when you borrowed something. So go ahead and write about a time that you borrowed something. Did you pay it back? Very good. All right, let's turn the page to 723. 723. And we're going to keep going at the top. Problem solving. Gina has 63 cents. Oh, Gino. I was going to say, is Gina a she? But it's Gino has 63 cents. He wants to buy a puzzle that costs 95 cents. How much money does he need to borrow? What do we have to do to figure that out? Yes, we have to find the difference. So I'm going to take the amount that he needs, which is 95 cents, and I'm going to subtract what he already has, which is 63 cents, so I can find the difference. 5 minus 3 is 2, 9 minus 6 is 3, so he needs 32 cents. What was the other way to write this? Can you write it now? Yes. $0.32. It's the same amount. Okay? Let's keep going with number 8. There's a lot of information. Jenna has $5. She can earn $2 each week by helping her mom. Her choices are to buy a toy car that costs 35 cents, a book that costs, $35, a book that costs $6, a game that costs $30, or a gift that costs $8. So that was a lot of background information, and now we'll start the question. Number 6, look at the list of 4 choices. Which choice is an example of a good reason for Jenna to borrow money? Explain why. Okay. Why would she need to borrow money? Well, she has $5 today, but she can earn money to pay somebody back, right? So if she wanted to buy a book that costs $6, if she borrowed $1 from mom, then she worked it off for a week. Then when she got her $2, she could pay back mom the other $1, right? So she probably wouldn't want to buy something super expensive now. She probably will want to wait until she earns a lot of the $2 weeks, right? So then she was closer to the amount, because you don't want to have to work for 10 weeks to pay someone back, right? They probably need their money much sooner than that. So you want to only borrow smaller amounts. Number 7, which of the 4 choices might be a bad reason? Well, we just talked about it. You don't want to borrow a big amount of money because it would take you too long to pay it back, and then someone might need it sooner. All right, now let's look on 724. You are going to go ahead and do this assessment, and so we can check it together. Go ahead and freeze the video and do 724. All right, are you ready to check? Let's go. Number 8, Wendy wants to buy a game that costs 84 cents. Wesley, I'm not very good with these names today. Wesley wants to buy a game that costs 84 cents. He has 59 cents. How much money would he need to borrow to buy the game? Did you find the difference? Was it 25 cents? Then you are correct. All right, describe 2 examples of borrowing. We're all going to have different examples, so as long as you describe borrowing, it's correct. Number 10, read the examples of borrowing, circle the good examples, draw a line through the bad examples. Okay, so here's some borrowing. Borrowing a pencil and giving it back broken. Oh, that's terrible borrowing because you didn't give it back in the same condition that you got it. That's a bad borrowing. Borrowing a book and giving it back a few days later. Well, you do that all the time in the library, and you do a good job of borrowing in that case. Borrowing an amount of money that will take a very long time to pay back. We already talked about that. That's not a good thing because that person might need their money back faster. Not good borrowing. Borrowing $1 and paying it back the next day. That is good borrowing. Very good. Borrowing a scarf and wearing it before you return it. What? That sounds pretty good, right? You're going to borrow it. They know you're going to wear it. You took good care of it, and then you returned it. Good borrowing. Moving on to number 11. Andrea has 46 cents. She wants to buy a marker that costs 72 cents. How much money does she need to borrow? Did you say 34 cents? Then you'd be wrong because the answer is 26 cents. Very good. You are going to tear out 725 and 726. Those are our yellow pages for practice. 725 and 726, tear them out, complete them. Mom and Dad will submit those 2 pages and your warm-up. That's it. That's all I want to see. The warm-up and these 2 pages. All right? Have a happy pet day and Cinco de Mayo.